Oh, hello there. Things are a bit hectic at the lab currently, but I've found some time to stop and talk about the Amalgamates. If you've already played the true pacifist route of Undertale, you likely know a fair amount about them already, though there's some interesting trivia and explanations to their origins that you may not know about. While we all know that the Amalgamates are the result of an experiment gone wrong, leading to the merging of several monsters, just who were the monsters that got fused together to begin with? And what more can we discover about the true lab while we're down there? While we're on the topic, I'd love to tell you how to reach the Underlab, but maybe that's something for another time. The true laboratory is a section of Alfie's lab sealed off from the player for the majority of the game. It only becomes accessible should you go down the true pacifist route. While eerie and dilapidated, it isn't immediately obvious as to why Alfie's goes to such great lengths to conceal this place. However, as we read the terminals and encounter horrific amalgamations, such soon becomes apparent. As we all know, the monsters desperately sought a way of escaping the underground and breaking the barrier. This difficult if not impossible task was laid upon Dr. Alfie's. As the most brilliant mind within the kingdom, Asgore requested that she experimented until she found a way of granting the monsters their freedom. This led her to test a substance she named Determination. Having brought all the monsters that had recently fallen down to the laboratory, she gave them injections of determination before they faded away and turned to dust. The experiment was at first deemed a failure, as nothing happened other than the bodies remaining where they were. However, one by one, the monsters began to reawaken, and all seemed promising at first. That is, of course, until they started to melt and blend together like viscous smoothies. The cause of this horrifying transformation isn't exactly made clear. All we know is that according to Alfie's, monsters lack the physical matter to receive large doses of determination, unlike humans. Therefore, their bodies broke down and fused together in order to create more physical matter, leading to the incredibly disturbing conception of the Amalgamates. It's pure nightmare fuel from here on out, folks, so consider yourselves warned. We first encounter an amalgamate called Memory Head by tampering with the sinks. Memory Head is particularly curious as unlike the other amalgamates, it isn't an amalgamate, or so it seems. There's no monsters that have been fused together to create this particular creature. We pacify it by using our cell phone to call no one in particular. This has led to many people speculating that it's some sort of digital entity with some sort of connection to our phone. I believe I have an explanation, however, as to what exactly Memory Head is. Memory Head could be the fused together memories of all the major monsters we've encountered so far on our journey. Defeating it by using our cell phone represents how we often call Papyrus, Undyne and Toriel, even though she never picks up, throughout our travels in the underground. What really gives this theory some credibility, however, is how Memory Head resembles a mashed up and distorted version of the monsters we've encountered. For example, the bottom left strongly resembles Papyrus's skull, and the right side appears to have one of the bones he uses to attack us with. The bottom left could also be argued to resemble a disfigured visage of Undyne. The top of Memory Head also somewhat resembles Chiron's smile. Could the tendril at the bottom be Alfie's tail, or the slash effect of a weapon? I know this is the true pacifist route, so technically Frisk may have never seen that effect, though maybe it's from a previous save where we did fight the monsters. Regardless of what it is, Memory Head's name is something of a giveaway, leading me to strongly believe that it's an amalgamation not of several monsters, but of several memories. The fact that Memory Head sometimes gives you an item called Bad Memory, which damages you when used, further supports this. While our memories of the monsters will be mostly positive, remember that all of them attacked us at one point. Those are undoubtedly the bad memories that Memory Head forces us to remember. We soon come across a bed that looks comfortable enough to lie on. Why we would do that in the middle of somewhere as terrifying as the true lab is beyond me, though we can choose to do so regardless. Should we lie and wait long enough, eventually an elongated stick figure will tuck us into bed. There's very little to explain who or what this amalgamate is. Within the game's files, they're named Watching Man. My best guess is that it's an extension of Memory Head, with the memories of Toriel, that tucks us into bed as she would. Though I also think it's just as likely that it's simply a joke. We encounter the same amalgamate wiggling away and having a good old time within a bathtub. When we open the shower curtain, they vanish, so we'll never know why the Watching Man was enjoying his shower so much. We next come across the fiendish aberration known as Lemon Bread. Well, it's as good a name as any, I suppose. Does anything about lemon bread seem familiar to you? Well, lemon bread is an amalgamated version of Chiron's agent, Aaron, and Moldbig. As you can likely see, it has the agent and Aaron's body, while oozing slime like a Moldbig. It's dealt with by acting the same way you would against the respective monsters it's composed of. Flexing for Aaron, humming for Chiron's agent, and unhugging for Moldbig. Therefore, Alfie's logs really are no joke. The Amalgamates are indeed former monsters that have been fused together. In this case, it was several monsters from Waterfall, and one of them was even Chiron's sister, as we discover in the epilogue of the True Pacifist ending. Next time, Alfies, maybe you should just try penicillin. After activating the ventilation system, something quite horrific occurs. The white particles that up until now had been dispersed across the room merge together to form a dog-like entity. It slowly approaches us until we're forced to do battle with it. This abomination is known as the Endogony. While the obvious conclusion to draw is that it's an amalgamation of the relatives of the K9 unit in Snowdin, let's see what else we can find out about this disturbing faceless dog. Oddly, the space in between Endogony's legs resembles several cats. This is likely just a visual joke by Toby, though it's worth noting that there's a trend with the creatures in Undertale resembling something different when you look at the black space rather than the white. Another interesting detail about Endogony is how it's the only amalgamate to have its sprite resemble its overworld sprite. The fact that it vibrates with increasing intensity also suggests that the molecules of its body are in some way unstable, which is further supported by how when we first encounter it, it consists of nothing but several floating particles. Therefore, it seems safe to conclude that the Endogony has melted down to an extent even further than the other amalgamates. We next meet the pleasantly named Reaper Bird. Its body is an amalgamation of Whimsalot, Final Frogget, and this thing. If you couldn't tell, the head is Astigmatism, the wings are Final Frogget, and the legs are Whimsalots. Reaper Bird would be no less disturbing than the other amalgamates if it wasn't for its bizarre attack called Everyman. We witness a strange humanoid-like creature seemingly having its face devoured by butterflies, before that same figure begins to attack us. Now, I'm not the only one getting flashbacks of The Wicker Man starring Nicolas Cage, am I? The Reaper Bird has an oddly religious theme about it. You can pray for your safety, and the Reaper Bird will remember its conscience. What this means exactly isn't clear. My best guess is that the Everyman attack has some sort of tie to the occult, which explains why Mystify, a word synonymous with the unknown, is an available action. As magic is a prolific theme throughout Undertale, perhaps this shows the darker side to the arcane and to the obscure. The last amalgamate we encounter is Snowdrake's mother. Of course, it's appropriate that this particular creature emerges from a fridge. For some reason, the Underlab is feeling extremely cold just now. Snowdrake's mother appears to be a combination of the monsters known as Snowdrakes and two Vegetoids. This fight in particular is quite depressing, as it's clear this amalgamate in particular has no intention of hurting you, as they do everything they can to avoid directly attacking you. It appears that all this poor monster remembers is jokes. That's a running theme with all the amalgamates. What pacifies them is their memories of the past, no matter how incoherent those memories may have now become. It's hard not to feel sympathetic for these freaks. So, in conclusion, Memory Head is an amalgamation not of monsters, but of memories. Lemon Bread is an amalgamation of Chiron's agent, Aaron, and Moldbig. Endogony is an amalgamation of several relations of the K9 Guard unit, and seems to have melted down further than the others. Reaper Bird is an amalgamation of Whimsalot, Final Frogget, and Astigmatism, and appears to have ties to dark magic. Snowdrake's mother is a merging of two Vegetoids and a Snowdrake. Finally, the Watching Man just likes to wiggle and dance about in the shower. Don't judge him. But we do have time for one last dark secret, do we not? That's right. There's something far worse than all of these failed experiments. Far worse indeed. Within the very bowels of the True Laboratory, we discover something beyond words. That's right. Alfie's hentai collection. Anyhow, I'm out of here. Well, that's it for today. Hopefully you learned something new about the Amalgamates. The True Lab is a complete clash in tone to the rest of the game. I have no doubt that's what makes it so memorable. I think, for me at least, it was the most surprising thing next to Omega Flowey's appearance. Alright, well, I've got an escaped monstrosity to deal with, so until next time, I'll see you later.
Bye.